Hello, everyone. My name is Jordan Vega, and my persuasive speech is on why you should take your health seriously. So, the image that I provided here is one that illustrates balance. So, essentially, what we strive for in life is a balance between things that we enjoy eating and things that are good for us, and not just eating, but anything else that we consume in general. So a little bit of a background story to myself. I've been a caregiver now for the last 11 years, and I've taken care of many sick people over the years. And one thing that I've noticed as a pattern in between these individuals is that finding the balance between what they should be consuming and shouldn't be consuming, the ratio's off. So the reason why that can be detrimental to your health and longevity in life is because if you're a diabetic and your physician recommends that you limit your carbohydrate intake and your sugar intake, and you go against his medical advice, then you see adverse effects in your overall health, thus causing a decline in your health and reducing the amount of years that you'll be alive, right? And everybody wants to live as long as they possibly can. So that's always the ultimate goal. Um, and as a caretaker, I also am used to giving people advice on maybe how much they should be eating when they're eating, and I assist them with eating their meals. Um, and the types of things that they're consuming, right? So a lot of times I'll see patients who are diabetics eating an entire bag of I don't know, for example, Skittles or something like that. And the reason why that's a problem is because they're insulin dependent. And after consuming this product of candy, few hours down the line, we check their glucose levels to see where they're at and see if they need insulin shots. And they'll spike um A1C levels, putting them in the 200 range when ideally we want them to fall within less than 150. So you can see the discrepancies and why it's bad, and it affects us down to the cellular level. I won't go into much of the cellular level and the complexities that how our diet affects us, but I will be discussing how do's and don'ts and why you should be taking your health seriously to um provide quality of life. I think that's a very big important topic that we need to discuss when taking your health seriously, because a lot of people don't take their health seriously. We all know what we should be doing in terms of exercise, in terms of fluid intake, in terms of what we should be eating, but we tend to go against that based on nature, just the nature of how we are as individuals and how we, a lot of us live life for today. But if you live every day of your life for today, then you might not see tomorrow. So just a piece of advice. Take it with a grain of salt. So we'll begin with things you shouldn't be doing. So we all know the detrimental effects of smoking. We've known since 1964 that smoking causes lung cancer. And over the years, we've discovered more and more detrimental long-term effects of smoking and tobacco products on our overall health and organ systems. So, a study I found that is from the National Institute of Health, 2024, that an overconsumption of uh, of alcohol can cause severe damage to the brain, heart, and liver, right? So that's what this little image here illustrates, that we shouldn't be consuming too much alcohol. Everything in moderation is fine, but a lot of us tend to go overboard. And another study that I found by the American Cancer Society 2020, that prolonged use of tobacco products and smoking can affect the lungs, the heart, and even the reproductive system, causing adverse effects to occur when you have children, whether you're still smoking or have them. It affects your DNA, which obviously nobody wants to affect their DNA, but it happens based on chemicals that we introduce to our bodies. So another study that I found by the Cleveland Clinic 2024, highly processed foods such as McDonald's. This is an image here of a Big Mac and some fries, right? Everybody loves the McDonald's fries, and although they are delicious, they are probably some of the most unhealthiest things you can consume and come across. So the study from Cleveland Clinic had determined that highly processed foods, such as fast foods, are known to cause hypertension, and elevated cholesterol, lethargy, which essentially means that it makes you non-energetic, right? Not in the mood to do anything. It's known to cause obesity, and it even has effects on our mood and is known to cause depression. Um, so what are essentially all three of these behaviors have in common towards our health is that all three of these behaviors have is they lead ultimately to cancer when you have too much of it and eventually end up in mortality or death. So obviously nobody wants that. Everybody wants to live a long, healthy life. And if that's something you're really interested in and really take serious, then maybe not having too much alcohol or fast food, and maybe not being around smokers or consuming any kind of tobacco products would probably be your best bet to increase your quality of life from now until your last breath on this earth, and overall just live a happy life. And this is probably the best thing that you could do, right? And these are things that your physicians probably told you a million times. And, you took it with a grain of salt, but sometimes advice from medical professionals, usually it's pretty good advice, and it's better to try to take whatever you can from it and incorporate it into your life. So now this is things that we should be doing. So we all also know what we should be doing to increase our overall health and live a healthy life. Um, a study I found from the CDC in 2024 stated that eating healthy food can promote optimal function of all your organ systems, and muscles, specifically your smooth muscles, which is all your organ systems, your skeletal muscle, which is all the muscles that surround our bones, right? That allow us to move, like our extremities and our vertebrae, and cardiac muscles such as our heart and our vascular system. So these are all things that can be positively impacted through eating a healthy diet. It promotes optimal function of them. You give them the energy that they need to function at a high level. And when you do so, you get the results, right? It will show in your blood pressure, it will show in your cholesterol, it will show in any test that essentially tries to rule out deficiency and dysfunctionality in our body. Well, these things would actually improve through the consumption of healthy foods such as fruits, nuts, legumes, vegetables, healthy fats from like fish. So these are all things that we should be eating, and we all know this, but it's nice to have reminders so that way we always fall in line within the parameters that medical professionals advise us to do so, right? So another study that I found from the World Health Organization 2024, daily exercise can promote optimal function of the cardiovascular system, nervous system, digestive system, muscular systems, and can even improve mental health. So these are all things that we all need in our lives, right? Nobody wants to be depressed. So mental health is also a great thing that you can benefit from exercising. So if these are things that you may struggle with or know somebody that may struggle with, it may be in their best interest for you to advise them and encourage them to incorporate these types of activities into their daily lives. 30 minutes is the recommendation, the user recommendation to how long you should be exercising. So 30 minutes a day is kind of the bare minimum, but if you can do more, you should do more because there's many health benefits to it. And if you have the time, it's a great investment. Your health is the best investment you can invest in. Um, Another benefit from both of these habits that you can incorporate into your life is that it can also help boost your overall immunity, right? So nobody likes to get sick and be in a hospital or take medications and feel under the weather. So immunity health is very important. Mental health is obviously a growing complex problem here in America. And a lot of that has to do with Americans' lifestyles, right? We are always on the go. We don't exercise enough. We neglect our health by eating whatever we can get our hands on and not taking into consideration the long-term effects of that, only the short term. So in the short term, it is food supply. In the long term, um it's detrimental to your health and causes a lot of long-term and short-term problems. So essentially, I wouldn't want to classify it as food, even though it is edible. I personally wouldn't recommend it for anybody. And we all obviously want to live longer. So these are things that benefit and promote a long, healthy life and quality of life up until the last day. And these are my references as to where I um, obtained a lot of this information, all backed by government websites who provide factual information. Thank you for hearing me out.